fixing up that meeting room, all the benches out in the basement, which didn't smell very good, and trying to make 3 classrooms of that space and some kind of an office space, dividing that up, was exciting to put it together, and the challenge of trying to figure out how this would accommodate children. I think the most amazing thing was that we got 32 kids. how lucky we were. And the families that came with such interest and determination and faith and energy. They cleaned the building for us. They prepared meals for special events. I remember we had a Thanksgiving Day, which we decided we'd never do again. I think we cooked a turkey and pies, and it was a huge production.
And did you teach that? Then who were the first 2 teachers?
Well, Maggie was the first, and
Maggie Allen.
Maggie Allen, and she was a member of meeting, and had brought Hannah with her, her little daughter, and then Sarah Howard came.
I remember we interviewed Sarah.
And we got a call from Sidwell Friends saying, we have a teacher candidate that you might appreciate. And so she came. And I think with that group of kids, we interviewed them in the basement of the meeting house to see if, it looked like they were kids we could work with and they could work with us.
What do you recall with some of the things that you did or we did to make it not just a progressive school but a Quaker school?
And that was always a challenge, to not only to achieve but to communicate, because it was hard to have to find Quaker teachers, and so to educate the teachers about who we were and what we were doing and what we intended to do.
That's still a challenge.
It is a challenge. It's how to build it into the curriculum, how to choose literature that supported or enlightened what our work was.
What do you remember that, I know there was meeting daily.
Yeah, they had, I remember one child who was an active child, and meeting our 15 minutes of quiet time in the classroom for a 2nd grader was really a challenge, and her behavior became more and more disruptive, and so we decided that she would have her quiet time with me upstairs in the attic. And I went down and got her one day, and I was really annoyed because I had other things to do, and I didn't want to sit down with a weakly kid. But we sat down together, and something magic happened, and we both just, I guess the silence enveloped us, and we had a hug, and she went back downstairs, and I don't think she was an angel for the other quiet times that we had, but it was just magic. Or spirit, I guess, is a better word to use. But Quaker simplicity is another value to think about, and I think it is best summed up in the idea of living lightly on the earth so other people can live at all. And that we had to take into consideration too.
And there's also a tradition at the school that people talk warmly about meeting buddies. Can you give us a little history on how that got started?
Well, I think a lot of things that we started were to address an issue, and of course for little children to sit still with nothing going on, no TV, no music, no puppet show, and try to figure out what to do with meeting for worship was a challenge. And it worked out very well that older children were paired with younger ones and would come together holding hands, entering the meeting room. Often the little ones who are sitting on the laps of the big ones. At one level, it kept both kids quiet because the big ones knew they were setting an example. But I think it deepened the experience for them, and it certainly was a community building experience. I think for a new teacher coming in, that their feeling was, wow, I can help form this place. I can teach the way I believe. And so the school developed and evolved because of everybody's input. And the beauty of working with people who were committed and excited about doing things in the right way is what drove us. Well, it's so gratifying and wonderful that this institution is there and has remained strong and committed to the principles that the founders believed in. And my wish for it is that it stays small. I firmly believe that we find out who we are in a small community, that if we're in a huge community, we're quite lost. And I hope it remains the size that it is, really. That it is in a wonderful natural setting, and that the children have the advantage of caring for the earth and experiencing stewardship was part of my initial dream and wasn't an opportunity that we had in previous buildings. And I think this is so wonderful that people have taken hold of that. And the building speaks of that stewardship and our responsibility to each other and the world. So,
thank you very much, Jane.